Michael, but that's not it. Flahertys both are last names. And here's what's going to happen next. This podcast is called Flahertys on Films.
Well, maybe we should try talking like humans.
Alright, well, whatever.
So this is Flahertys on Films.
What is this podcast about?
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah, it's a trick question. See if you get it.
We discuss the AFI Top 100 Films, but we don't know anything about movies. It's just like a fun little banter.
That was exactly correct. So I'll ask a harder question next time.
Yeah, so for this episode, I should say we got some notes. Or I should be more specific. I got some notes on my performance. Not Michael.
Yeah, I got an implicit note, which is that I'm perfect because of the no notes.
Yeah. I say like too much.
Yeah.
I call Mikey sometimes.
Right,
Shouldn't
instead
do
of
that.
Michael. You shouldn't do that. This
Shouldn't
goes out
do
to the
that.
world. Joyce is going to hear this.
Oh, bad decisions all around. I forget my other notes, but I'm sure they were very, very important. So I'm going to work on that. And Mike, you just stay perfect.
I'll just do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll just be me.
Do it, man.
Yeah.
So this week we're discussing In the Heat of the Night from 1967. Michael, you want to tell us what it's about?
I'll do it. In the Heat of the Night, 1967, an African-American police detective is asked to investigate a murder in a racially hostile southern town.
Now, Michael, have you heard of this film before?
Never. No. I've never seen it, never heard of it.
Likewise.
What I heard about it before I saw it was the famous line from the movie, "They call me Mr. Tibbs."
Which I'm only familiar with because of the film The Lion King.
Lion King, right. So that's a famous line from the movie. A little undercut because Mr. Tibbs is a very silly name, I think. But that's my hot take.
It felt very serious in the moment.
It was very serious, but Tibbs, it's very funny. That's what I would name my cat.
Aw.
Yeah, Tibbs.
Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs. That's a great name.
Yeah.
I'm stealing. No one take that. That's mine.
This feels offensive for some reason.
No, it's fine. We're fine.
Should we get a little background, though? So we'll get a little...
How do we do that?
I don't know. We're a little busy, though. Could you check the time?
Shit, let me go back. I think it is. Bam!
Time for Sam.
Here we go. That's you.
That's me.
I'm just going to eat this cookie.
Yeah.
They're delicious cookies. So this film was nominated for 7 Oscars.
Whoa.
It won 5.
Did Sidney Poitier win one?
No, actually, he
Let's
did.
review how that name is said. Poitier?
I don't... Poitier?
Poitier? Is there a pause? Research? Pause or no?
Well, now, yeah.
Sidney Poitier?
It was...
Kind of serious though. I do want to know how to.
Poitier?
It was nominated for Best Director and Best Sound Effects without winning, but it did win Best Picture. It did win Best Actor, but not Sidney. It was Rod Steiger.
Okay.
Oh, they didn't used to give black people Academy Awards, though.
Yeah.
Right. It's sort of relevant to the theme of this movie.
Best Film Editing, Best Sound, Best Screenplay, and Best Screenplay based on material from another medium, which is a very tediously long Oscar nomination.
Poitier.
Poitier.
Sidney Poitier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, to put into perspective when this movie came out, the Academy Awards where it won Best Pictures was actually postponed 2 days because of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination.
Whoa.
So, just to put in perspective of when this took place. It was actually filmed in Illinois. It was actually filmed in Sparta, Illinois. So that's why it's called Sparta, because they couldn't change the signs around the city.
That's very interesting.
They did it because Sidney insisted it be filmed in the North because he had had a very violent interaction with the KKK in Mississippi when he was younger.
Wow.
So he refused to film down there, except for there is the scene where they film in the cotton field, and there aren't any cotton fields like that in Illinois. So they did have to go to Tennessee. And while they were down there, Sidney slept with a gun underneath his pillow, but they still actually had threats against him. So he had to come back up.
Whoa.
The line, "They called me Mr. Tibbs," that you guys already talked about, is number 16 in movie quotes for the AFI list.
What's number 1?
Is it They Call Me Mr. Pig, as Pumbaa says in The Lion King?
Is that number 1, Samantha?
No, I believe that's number 17.
Yeah.
Is it like probably...
Rosebud?
Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn. Probably one of those.
It's actually, I think, it's one of the Wizard of Oz, if I'm not mistaken. I could definitely be wrong. I haven't looked that up in a while. They chewed 263 packs of gum, the sheriff, in this film.
That was I thought that was an interesting character choice.
It was actually not a character choice. It was the director who picked it, and the actor was like, "That's stupid," but then he got really into it.
For those who have not seen the film, there's a sheriff character who, in every single scene, he's chewing gum. And it just feels so deliberate. Like, he's really going at this gum. He is belaboring the gum.
I don't actually remember that part in the movie. We're talking about the chief?
Yeah, the chief.
I flat out said a couple of times, I hope they slap the gum out of his mouth.
Yeah, because he, like, smacks it. It's
Really?
very
annoying.
How do you not remember this?
Well,
How many cookies is too many cookies?
You can have one more.
I mean, you bought them. You can have them as much as you want.
This film spawned 2 sequels, Call Me Mr. Tibbs and The
Are you
Organization.
serious? Is this a joke?
Nope.
Sounds like a joke.
Came out in 1970, and The Organization came out in 1971.
Oh, speaking of a joke, did the soundtrack win any awards?
Oh, I have something.
All
That's
right,
my last fact
all
for
right.
you. And then there's a TV series after that came out in the 80s. My last fact, and unfortunately this one's really tailored to Michael because we watched this movie together. So there's a scene where there's a diner guy, and he plays with the jukebox. He starts playing this song, and the song was supposed to be Little Red Riding Hood by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs.
That creepy song.
Hey there, Little Red Yeah, no one in your podcast needs to hear me sing, but that one, they couldn't get the rights for it.
You sure are
Looking
good.
So Quincy Jones wrote a song
All
called
right. Foul Owl on the Prowl. Which was interesting.
Which, if you listen to it and you know in context that it's supposed to be like Little Red Riding Hood, it does sound very similar.
How does that one go, Samantha?
I can't even.
Foul Owl on
the
the Prowl.
The point is, you should watch this movie because I did watch it with them and it was actually pretty good. But more importantly, that song was hilarious. And it was composed by Quincy Jones, so that's just a little fun.
That was a little weird to me because, like, the title track to this is very good. It's like a Ray Charles song, In the Heat of the Night. Like, very good.
Yeah.
So,
but then
that's
some
a
of
really
that
cool fact.
music was interesting. That was it?
That was it?
And that was Bam.
Time for Sam.
All right, great facts.
Yeah, let's see what other people had to say about this.
Sure,
some
I got
critics.
that song in my head so badly though.
I'm really sorry.
Foul Owl on the Prowl.
I'm gonna tell you what though. Here's the Amazon reviews were crazy. There were like 3,000 and then reviews in total.
Is that high or?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're right. I should have some kind of perspective on this now.
Continue your
There
thought.
were 2 1-star reviews.
Okay. Whoa.
2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Michael, if you would like to read the first one.
Sure. Cannot comment. Didn't purchase this item. Amazon customer. That was harsh. Little harsh.
Yeah, guys.
Huh. That is quite a critique.
Overrated.
Okay.
I don't understand how this film won the Oscar for Best Picture. Story sucks. Acting is blah. Ending is lame.
And then that's by Fernando. All right, Fernando.
And that's it.
And is this a real review?
Oh, this is...
Oh, okay. So, it's just 2 reviews. Yeah.
Yeah. So people like this film, I guess.
People like it. And why do you think they do?
I think maybe it's just one of these older films that people only seek out if they already know it and they already like it.
Oh, here's our best segment. Ready?
Yeah.
Well, Bam Time for Sam is our best segment. Number 2 segment. What is your favorite moment? What is your least favorite moment?
It's really hard to say because I really like Sidney's performance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to say his last name again.
Poitier. We got the official pronunciation.
Yeah, I thought he was so cool. Even when he wasn't cool.
That's my thought. Is he good at acting or is he just fucking badass? I don't know. I mean, I guess he could be both.
I mean, is he just the Bruce Willis of his time?
Well, Bruce Willis, I think, is a great actor. But, like, Sidney Poitier, I just thought the whole movie, like, man, that guy's awesome.
But...
I don't often think that about Bruce. That he's just, what a cool guy.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can't think of... sorry, does research want to chime in?
Just one more thing about Sidney. He was the first African-American actor to be nominated and later to win an Academy Award for Best Actor.
Was it Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
I think he was nominated for that, but he won for a different one.
To Sir with Love?
No.
Those are the only 2 other Sidney Poitier movies I know.
It was ones that I didn't recognize.
Okay.
So.
I felt pretty good that I knew 2 more.
I was very impressed.
Anyway, I can't think of a scene where, like, oh, wow, he really acted. I was really transported to the scene. I just thought, man, he's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of
Mr. Tibbs.
Kind
That's
of
my
understated
impression.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you? Oh, yeah. So that's your favorite. So what's your least favorite?
I thought it was all the scenes about the the teenage girl were really gross.
Oh, the naked one.
Yeah.
Okay.
When she talks about how sexy tombstones are.
Interesting. Yeah.
The cool marble. And I'm like, ew.
Yes.
Didn't like that.
So here's the part of the segment where we transition over to me. My least favorite moment, I think, was the chief character, the sheriff character, where, like, I felt like in this kind of movie, his role should have been racist and then arc to not racist. But I'm like, I didn't, maybe that was in the movie, but I didn't feel it enough as much as I would have liked to. Especially in the first scene where, so they bring in Sidney Poitier. They think he killed the guy.
Okay, so sorry, you should mention, this movie opens with a murder in this small town.
Oh, sure.
And the movie is kind of a murder mystery.
And one of the officers, Sam Woods, goes over to the train station that he goes to? So he goes to the train station, finds Sidney Poitier. It's like, oh, you're black, so you're
black and you're a stranger, and I don't know who you are.
So you must be the murderer. He brings him in. Brings him into the police station, and then puts him in front of the chief. And so what I didn't like specifically was the chief going on like, fuck you, you're black, you did it, blah, blah, blah. And then when he finds out you're a cop, it's not like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, I'm learning something, I'm beginning my progression as a character. It was, fuck you, you should help us because you're a cop. It was like right away, like, I'm still angry all the time. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's what you would be like, just angry all the time.
That
but
did
like,
feel real.
You know, I'm not saying it felt unrealistic. What I'm saying is like,
it was frustrating as a viewer.
As a movie, what do I want? I want people learning about, if racial tension is the subject, what I want is people going, oh, racism is bad. And I felt like he is the character where that's supposed to be represented in. Obviously not. Sidney Poitier is just like, I'm awesome. And I thought the chief character was supposed to be like, I have to change my worldview. And not enough for me.
Can we talk about that opening scene for a second? So it's like 3 a.m. when they find this dead body.
Yeah.
And it's a small town. And so they just go around and they see a stranger in a nice suit at a train station. Now, they were being racist, definitely.
Yeah.
But don't you think that is a little suspicious?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, the richest guy in town is murdered, and there's just some random guy they've never seen before at the train station at this ungodly hour in the morning, leaving.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, they said, come here, boy, and they, like, drag. I mean, obviously, they're super racist.
Maybe it's just me, but I really loved the moment. So I knew this movie was about racial tensions, and that's basically all I knew about it. So when Sam Wood is, like, looking around, like, oh, I'm just going to look in this train station. Probably nobody will be there. So he opens the door, and he opens it very slowly, and it's continuously the camera is on his face as he's like opening the door, just kind of like, oh, nothing's here. But then you could tell he sees something, and his expression goes from like, oh, I'm just wandering in here to like, oh God. Just like, I felt like the bias, I felt the hatred just right away even though like I knew it's like Sidney Poitier was going to be what he was looking at, but I just thought that moment was so good. So this movie does racial tension well, I think.
I think so too. And I like, especially because a lot of the characters are shades of it.
Yeah.
I just, if we could talk about like a little bit, every time I watch one of these kind of movies, sometimes I have trouble because I truly cannot empathize with some of these people.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird that this didn't happen that long ago and it's in the South, but just like this hatred, like this, how dare you let somebody black go out the front door or sit at the counter. Like, I can't even wrap my head around being that angry about this shit.
Totally.
Like, and I'm not saying, like, I'm perfect about racial issues, obviously, but what the fuck? Like, it's so foreign to me that it's sometimes hard to watch.
And it's so terrible that it almost
seems comical, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There was this Amazon show that me and Sam watched about like sexism, like in New York in the 60s, called like Good Girls
Revolt.
Good Girls Revolt. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Sexism is bad. Because it's so like hokey, the way that writing is.
Like, a woman?
Right? Exactly. So I'm like, I get that it was like this, but it's just so, I get it.
Yeah.
But for this movie, no, it's done well. It's done well. It's done with subtlety and nuance.
Definitely. I actually just watched something on Netflix too, where someone was horribly racist in the South, and I'm just like,
I get it.
I don't know. It's so hard, and it's just like, what the fuck? And Yeah.
I sometimes worry. So obviously we watch a lot of old movies for this podcast, but every time we're going to watch an old movie, a movie from this era, I think, I worry that I'm gonna have trouble connecting to it
Yeah.
or like understanding, like, because it's so weird. And I also worry that if we're gonna watch a movie about racial tensions, that it's gonna be too serious, and I'm gonna have to like really think and like be considerate. But this movie is not. I felt like I really did connect with it, and it isn't too like dour. It is not too serious. The fact that they find Sidney Poitier, and not only is he not guilty, but he happens to be the lead homicide detective in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Like
that
that
was
kind
cool.
of plot contrivance is like it lifts the movie from being this really sad time, even though it is covering a really serious topic.
Yeah,
which
and
I
they got
liked a lot.
right to that, which I
Yes,
really liked
yes.
a lot.
Yes.
I do think the sheriff did do a good job, that actor. He does this weird monologue like, oh, Mr. Big City Boy makes $432 a week. Or,
Yeah.
I made that number up, but it was
Yeah.
a seemingly large amount of money.
I thought it went to very, very good, his performance, to like, was that good or do I just not get it? Because he would just like yell, and I'm like, was that silly? Just sometimes like
Yeah.
it's so old I don't even get what he's trying to do, but I'm sure it was good at the time.
Oh,
So I would rate his performance overall as being very good.
I guess there were just some times where I just felt like uncomfortable that he would bring the tension up. Like that scene where he's there in his living room and they're like drinking, shooting the shit. And then he's like, don't you pity me? And it was like,
Black Boy,
whoa,
yeah. And that's, again, I didn't like that either, because like, again, like
Have
art.
you grown at all?
Did you learn anything?
Right.
Is there been progression in this movie? I don't know.
But like, also, so he's a detective. They never said that. They've said he was a police officer and that he's the top homicide expert.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get, I don't really know how police departments work outside of TV. So
Yeah.
okay. So you kind of covered that, and then they're like, and they call the police chief in Philadelphia, and the police chief, his boss is like, yeah, you should totally stay there and help them solve the murder.
That's one thing I wondered about. It seemed like Sidney Poitier didn't have to, like, his work was not demanding he be back, which is
Right.
interesting.
They're just like, yeah. Oh, by the way, I think Sidney was in this town because he was visiting his mother in one town over.
Oh, I must have missed that dialogue.
Well, yeah. I mean, why else did you think he was there?
I mean, I just don't remember them saying that.
Okay. So yeah, he's just gonna help.
But it seemed like he could have stayed in the town as long as he wanted to.
It
Like,
did seem like there was
which
no
is
rush.
interesting, yeah.
Although there was a rush because people wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. This stuff I just can't relate to because they just want to kill him for like being uppity, like thinking he can talk to people or go to restaurants.
And
or, like,
I'm sure that's very, very realistic.
I'm sure it is. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
so weird. Like, oh, I think I need to murder you because you said hi to a white woman. Like, I
Right.
can't wrap my mind around it.
It would be easy for a lesser movie to make that feel cartoonish.
Yes.
And it does not in this
No.
movie, so this movie gets a lot of points for that.
Oh,
Definitely.
It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think now the more I think about it, the more I liked it.
Did you love this movie?
No.
Because
Sorry. I guess I just didn't expect to like it that much.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by how much I did like it.
yeah, it's a pretty simple movie. Mm-hmm. It's easy to follow. Not too many characters, not too many plot strands.
Yeah, so the fun and so did you like the murder mystery part of it when you figure out who done it? Did that intrigue you?
I feel like it was good enough. I didn't love it, but I felt like it did have a twist. It did have like the suspects who ended up not being relevant. It had twists and turns. It had red herrings.
Yeah, and I kind of thought that the white people who were just gonna kill him for being uppity, I thought like, oh, I wonder if they're involved, but they're not. They're just assholes.
I guess I don't know how I feel because this movie, when I think about all the elements, they're all very, very good, but I didn't walk away amazed.
Right.
And maybe that's just me. And it might just go back to the Chief's character, where I didn't feel like he's the heart of the movie. I mean, to me, that's what it should have been, but maybe I'm just expecting too much or I'm projecting.
I did like their send off at the end. It was like they seem like friends now.
Yeah, but I still didn't feel the growth.
That's fair.
Like Sidney's character, I thought was perfect in every way.
Yeah.
And his performance was perfect.
It feels like the chief just kind of came to you're one of the good ones, not a
Right.
I'm not going to hate black people anymore.
But again, maybe that's like super unfair because like maybe that's the most you could expect for by 1,000 times in a movie that's released in the 60s.
I guess.
Right?
That bums me out. Though. Yeah, I was also pleasantly surprised to learn that. I'm sorry, what state were they in? Alabama?
Mississippi?
One of those
Yeah.
kind of states.
Mississippi, I think. Missouri.
I think you were right, Mississippi.
Okay.
I was really pleasantly surprised to learn that it's statutory rape to sleep with a 16-year-old. I was surprised about that. Not to diss on Mississippi, but I'm dissing on Mississippi a little.
But you are.
A little bit.
A lot of Coca-Cola in this movie. That's what me and Sam noticed. Like the naked lady is drinking a Coke at the beginning of the movie. You see just Coke a lot.
Were in-movie sponsors very common then?
I mean, it might not be a sponsor. Maybe just like there aren't a lot of soft drinks. But I think she
That's
says like,
possible.
I need a good fountain drink in the movie. I don't know. That's just what I noticed. Maybe I should pay attention to the more important things. It's possible.
Oh, I just thought of a scene that I really liked, though.
What scene do you really like?
In the greenhouse.
Yeah.
So, okay. So the guy who gets murdered is a guy who's going to bring this factory to the town, and people were mad because he was going to employ, like half the people he was going to employ was going to be black people. Mm-hmm. Which they didn't really say why that was, but not important.
Whatever.
So he gets murdered, and so they think it's the other rich guy in town who arranged the murder. So they go see this rich guy, and they just like have this lovely, pleasant conversation. Like he seems like a supervillain in his white suit and like talking about flowers. And then at one point, he just loses his shit, and he slaps Sidney.
Yeah.
And then Sidney slaps him back
right away. Yeah.
And the rich guy looks at the sheriff, and he's like, "You should have shot him in front of me." Like,
I know. Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is a really good movie.
That was like...
I don't know why I don't love it though, but it is very, very good. And it's just like, it's not for me, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Right. It's not for us.
Yeah, maybe it's just a little too dated.
But it's a movie we can definitely appreciate a lot.
Yeah. How are we supposed to feel about the Wood character?
Sam Wood?
Yeah. Because sometimes he was kind of goofy, and sometimes he was just kind of dumb.
I think
But he also definitely did sleep with that 16-year-old.
I think the movie does exactly a good job of what you're supposed to feel. First, he's goofy and dumb, and then he turns out to be the bad guy. So.
No, he's not the bad guy. He doesn't kill him.
But it's like a twist. It's
Right.
like hidden knowledge. That's
Right.
what happens. It's a reveal.
Yes, good point. Oh, and yes, so then the killer turns out to be a guy we meet like halfway through the movie. Or I guess we meet him at the beginning. He just works behind the counter, and he's very, very racist. Mm-hmm. And he was going to set up...
Foul, on the prowl. It's a real song that happens. I don't know. It's in my head still.
I gotta say, it wasn't a very funny movie. I didn't laugh.
That song was pretty funny. At one point, I think one of the opening numbers, they're like driving in a car and there's cool guitar music. But then like overlaid on this track is like ba-da-da-ba-da-ba, like a real guy. Like ba-ba-cha-ba-doo-ba-da.
Scatting?
Yeah, nah, maybe. Scatting is much better than what was happening in this song. So I was just saying, Quincy took some interesting choices.
Interesting. I know we just talked about this, and I don't have anything new to say.
Yeah.
But Sidney's so cool.
He's so cool.
Like, listeners at home, if you can just imagine, like, just this really cool, suave black man who... And he has this suit that's so cool.
It was
and he
a
drives
cool
a cool
suit.
car.
I feel like he was posing. I feel like
Yeah.
there's scenes where it's like, whoa. I don't know if you stand like that naturally, but you look damn cool.
But it also looked natural.
It did look natural. No, I mean, yeah, it didn't look awkward. That's
No,
for sure. It looked
he's
fucking awesome.
It looks like he's never had an awkward moment in his life.
No.
I did like that he was a flawed character. Like,
How so?
well, the sheriff was like, "You need to get out of town because people are going to murder you," and he's like, "No, I need to stay and solve this." And he's like, "You actually don't need to because you have a job and you have a home to get home to, and you just want to show us up." Like, oh, and then remember at the beginning, he's like, "I think you are going to stay and help us out because you want to show us all as smug white people up. You want to show that you're better than us."
That was another point where, like, so the chief isn't learning anything? Because, like, I love Sidney Poitier and his character, but I don't care about his growth or his flaws or his...
Yeah, he's perfect.
But it's not even that, though. Like, if he's flawed, it's just like he just has normal human flaws. When the chief is flawed, it's because he has racism. And that's what the movie's about,
Right.
to me.
So stop having racism.
Right, I'm just like...
I
Do you know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
Focus on the chief growing and not Sidney Poitier growing, because
I think he grows. I think it was just important to show that Sidney was flawed. He
I guess
just
that
this
is nice.
perfect.
Absolutely.
He wasn't just this perfect system of oppression kind of situation. Like he also had an ego that he needed to protect, and he wanted to battle this horrifying.
Are you saying that's as bad as racism?
I'm saying that's exactly as bad as racism.
Do you get where I'm going at?
Yes,
I still feel
totally.
like I'm not.
Like that sheriff did not he didn't learn his lesson.
And that's not like a minor thing to me. That's very key to the movie. That should have been the heart to me. But again, maybe that's all a 1960s movie could do.
But is that what you wanted? Did you want to watch a morality tale? Like, I don't know.
What I felt like I watched is a morality tale with that morality missing. I felt like that.
You were shown how bad racism is, but nobody changed.
No, I feel like in the first draft, the chief did grow and learn, but they're like, let's do this movie, but take that part out and just fill it with nothing.
All right.
That's what I felt like.
That's a good. All right. I agree with you actually.
But I can't discredit the movie too much because it's very good.
Yeah, I don't want to go through a blow by blow of the plot because I think guys, if you're interested in this, it's a pretty good movie. It's a fun ride.
Yeah, it's a good time. Well, we liked it.
Right.
And we're siblings, and we liked it. But here's the thing.
We have another sibling.
Wait, what? Whoa! I wasn't going there, but while we're on the topic, call Brother John.
Brother John.
How did you get there? Siri was telling me some things.
The snickerdoodle cookie's really good. There's only one though. Does anyone want to bite?
John?
Hello.
Hey, John.
John, is that you?
Hello, John.
Hey.
Oh, what are you guys calling about?
Well, I'll tell you are live. It's not a live show. You're on Flahertys on Films. It's a podcast. It's Tim Cook's favorite podcast about movies on the AFI list. And this week we are talking about In the Heat of the Night, which is from 1960s about racial tensions in the South. Have you seen it?
And here I thought you guys were calling to say hi.
Never. It's starring Sidney Poitier.
Shut, you idiots! Why would we do that? Never.
Well, in a related story, no, I haven't seen In the Heat of the Night.
Have you heard of it?
Vaguely.
You said you had a related story?
Was it about Sidney Poitier?
Maybe.
Was it about the South?
I'm not helpful here.
What are your thoughts?
What about murder mystery as a genre?
I can't even hear Kalian, so I assume she's asking me questions that I can't answer.
Murder mystery.
Murder mystery.
Well, I was kind of close. I said a lawyer thing.
No, there's no lawyers.
This call is going real bad, John. Let's save it. What are your thoughts?
What about
You know
racism?
what? It's almost Christmas, so Merry Christmas, guys.
John, we're going to have 4 more episodes for the Christmas season. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Well, I like doing Santa Baby to Michelle because it creeps her out.
That's a bad reason.
This episode's going to be in March.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to play.
What's your favorite Irish song? That's relevant.
In what way? I know, it's the unicorn song.
Wake's probably my favorite.
It's not the unicorn song?
No, but I do like doing the unicorn song in bars. That's definitely true.
But that's the point of Irish songs, is bars.
True, and I guess the song that I sing I song most when I'm drinking is The Wild Rover.
That's a good number.
That's a great one.
That's a good number. So what is your...
Did you say she hadn't heard of this before?
What's up?
Never mind, continue.
So what's your grade for In the Heat of the Night?
Well, let's give it a straight up B, since
That's
I don't actually know what we're talking about.
That's a good score. That's
Yeah,
a good
that's a
solid-
good guess, actually.
It's a good guess. That's what I think me and Colleen will land in that ballpark.
I think so.
It's a classic score that a professor will give a student when they really are just too tired they don't want to actually read the paper.
Listen, I'm not going to teach you anything. Let's just send you out of here with a good grade. John, thank you for this call.
Cheers, John.
You're a good sport.
It was nice to talk to my siblings again. Bye.
Bye-bye, John. Jeez, watch the movie. All right. So that was Bro Call.
Yeah, the list isn't secret. You can
It's very public.
you could just read us synopsis.
Come on, Di. We do this once a week. It's been a couple weeks. So what is your grade of this movie?
So I think I have a similar problem to you in that I don't have a lot of criticisms of it.
Yeah.
But I just didn't come away thinking, wow, people need to see this movie. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to give it a B-.
I'm going to give it a B- too, but I feel bad about it. Because I think in 1960s it deserves 3 A+.
And I just feel like Sidney is amazing.
Yeah.
But
But like for now, it's just not relevant to this time. So it's great if you want to learn what is relevant to that era.
you know, it doesn't bother me that it's not relevant today.
It didn't make me mad. No.
I'm
Happy how much I could connect to it.
Because there are a lot of older movies that I like that aren't like, I don't watch The Godfather. I'm like, this is my life.
But I have to be honest to myself and think about how much it really impacted me and how much I really loved it as when I saw it. And I didn't love it that much, even though I can't really complain about it too much.
Yeah, and I guess I feel bad that it is actually a pretty good,
Right, I feel terrible.
It's a pretty good movie about, the subtleties of racism and stuff.
Yeah.
And yet, my biggest takeaway was just how cool Sidney was.
Sidney is friggin' awesome.
And I'm like, I don't feel like I watched that correctly, that I thought that. But
there was a lot of Coca-Cola. I didn't watch it correctly either.
right.
Foul owl on the prowl. I was just, what was I doing? Where was my mind at?
You didn't even notice that he chews gum all the time.
That's probably bad. I feel like we did it a
He
lot.
smacked the gum. It was
Maybe
audible.
I just expect a chief to do that. Maybe when I don't see a chief smacking gum, I'm like, well, something is missing.
What's going on?
Can I complete this puzzle?
Oh man. All right. I think we're gonna wrap up.
Yeah.
First, let's thank our sponsors.
Yeah, who are we sponsored by?
Insomnia Cookies.
Shit. I think the oven might be on. No, it's not. What we have here are fresh delivered cookies from Insomnia Cookies. Why are they called Insomnia? Because they're open 24/7, I think. And no. Well,
They're open really late.
Sugar will keep you up at night.
Yeah.
And they're delicious. And they taste home cooked fresh.
Yeah.
Yum.
I mean, we're definitely not their target demographic, which is high college students.
What's your favorite flavor of cookie?
All cookies.
Mine's ginger snap. They don't have that one. So that's going to wrap
You
it up.
don't love ginger snaps.
I had a ginger snap every day in college.
Ginger snaps are gross.
I shouldn't admit
Nobody likes ginger snap cookies.
I am me. I will answer for me. I like them.
You're like, I want a gross.
That's exactly what I was like.
That has
You don't know.
it has
You don't know.
too much flavor and not enough flavor. It's the grossest kind of cookie.
You know what? I hate Insomnia. They should have ginger snap cookies. I don't want your money. I'll take back your money. I don't want it until you have ginger snap. They suck. Don't buy them. Go buy. Who else sells cookies?
How many of these cookies are you?
Chips Ahoy. We have a lot of them. They're very good.
They're really
Let's end this podcast. Who are you?
You're so mad about this. Join us next week when
we
discuss Silence of the Lambs.
Yay!
It's gonna be fun.
Silent of
And
and cut. Sheeple.